Meeting to order on this Tuesday, August 4th, 2015. It is now 4:35. Can you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? Thank you. Okay, number 2, roll call on the commissioners.
Here. Here.
Here. Here.
Here, for the record, we have 5 are all present, none absent. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications. Okay, number 5 are minutes for June 16th, 2015, and July 21st, 2015.
Mr. President, I was reading through my packet of materials, and on the June 16th minutes, June 16th minutes on page 6, I noticed that Commissioner Kazbricki made a motion for authorization, or I'm sorry, it was for that Lake Street property that we, but it doesn't say who seconded his motion.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know if that's, important. I would think that we would need to know who seconded it.
I believe I seconded it.
Okay, I thought I did, so I don't know.
We can check the recording, and I can have the, Cynthia's not here obviously today, but we can have her fix that.
Okay, and then that was my only comment.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sometimes the recording, if two of you kind of just talk or not loud enough, maybe it didn't come through, or...
Okay. 'Cause I know we had kind of some kind of discussion about it, and...
Yeah.
Sure. So I think you can actually have a motion to approve with that correction if you so choose.
I so move for that to occur.
I'll second.
Okay. I guess we'll do one at a time then.
Sorry.
Is there any more discussion on June 16th, 2015 minutes or questions? Okay, then I would just like a roll call only for June 16th, 2015 minutes.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes for June 16, 2015 minutes. Okay. The other part of our minutes, we have another July 21st, 2015.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for July 21st, 2015.
I second that.
Okay, is there any questions or discussion then further on these minutes? Okay, roll call for July 21st, 2015 minutes.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes 5 yes. Okay, are we able to do number 6, homebound conditional forgivable loan approval?
Yes.
Okay, can the 4 applicants please stand and come forward?
Commissioners, there will only be 3 applicants. Ricardo Garcia will not be going forward with the homebound loan.
Okay.
I believe the other 3 applicants are here.
Thank you for that update.
Mr. Valdez, how did you hear about the homebound conditional forgivable loan program?
My mother.
Your mother? Okay. And let's see, who else is here? Miss
Castañeda.
Castaneda? How did you hear about the program?
I heard about it from the Lake County office. I called them initially, and they had said that Hammond had their own HUD program, so I reached out.
Okay. So we won't leave you by yourself. How did you hear about the program?
Worker.
Okay. And we just like to know, where people hear about it so that we know that, people are engaged and know about it. So I have no other questions. Anyone else?
I have one question, like your realtors, like once you reached out to a realtor, did they know about it?
Mine did not. My lender knew about it, though.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who's your realtor?
My realtor is Bart Botkin with Red Key.
Yeah, I know. I'm a realtor too, so yeah, I've heard of him, but I don't know. I can't believe he didn't know about that. We gotta do a better job with that. Okay.
Needs to come to the Realtors Breakfast,
He should.
right?
Yeah.
I have no further questions.
With no further questions, Mr. President, I move we approve the three present applicants for the homebound conditional forgivable loan program. Approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the three applicants that are present tonight. And we have a roll call on that.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Welcome to Hammond, and congratulations
welcome.
on the purchase.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Maybe excuse.
Or you can stay.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7, approval of professional services agreement with United Neighborhoods, Inc. for the new home construction project at 3126 170th Drive.
Mr. President, Commissioners, in your packet, you should have a copy of a professional services agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhoods, Inc., specifically for the construction of a single-family house on Lot 19 in the Parish View subdivision, also known as 3126 170th Drive. We have an agreement, a written agreement with Homes of Distinction to do that construction. The sum of the construction is not to exceed $200,000, as has been the case in the other 4 homes that he's constructed for us. And they sell rather quickly. He has just completed one about a week ago that we listed a week ago, and we hope to have that sold and closed probably within 60 to 90 days. But we want to start construction, especially with the foundation and the framing, before weather turns on us, so.
What was it previously? Was there a house there that were?
It's, Wally, it's a subdivision that the city is developing off of 169th and Parish, and it's a brand-new subdivision. It probably has a dozen to 13 houses that have been constructed in it so far, and we probably have another dozen lots left.
So this is just an empty lot?
Yes.
That would. I think we should keep going with what's going well. So, Mr. President, I move we approve the professional services agreement with United Neighborhoods, Inc. for a new construction at 3126 170.
Second.
Very good. Any other questions for Mr. Radowski?
No, just a comment. We toured those properties a while ago. This is before they were built, and they were beautiful homes. So it's just a nice little hidden jewel in Hammond. So they're doing a good job. Just wanted to state that for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Okay, then, roll call for the approval of professional services agreement with United Neighborhoods, Inc. for the new home construction project at 3126 170th Drive.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries 5 yes.
Thank you very much.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Radowski.
Okay, I'm gonna open up, number 8, public hearing for CDBG substantial amendment. Anybody like to come forward? I would like to open up public hearing for CDBG substantial amendment. Anybody like to come forward? Okay, my third time here. Public hearing is open for CDBG substantial amendment. If anybody would like to come forward. Okay, that's once, twice, 3 times. Public hearing will be closed for CDBG substantial amendment. Okay, number 9, approval for environmental review project design for 5137 Holman Avenue.
Commissioners, you have in your packet a proposal from Americo Inc., who also happen to be here. This is for a project that we've been discussing for several years. This is the former J.C. Penney's building on Holman Avenue. And I believe there might be a correction on the address. I want to make sure that we have that accurate. I believe the address is 5137.
Okay. I was going to ask that because here it says 5217.
Yeah. No, it's,
Did I give the right address? 5130.
Zach typed it up.
So this is a building that's on Holman Avenue, former J.C. Penney's. The city does not own this building. The building department went out and cited the building. So they put them on their order to repair process, which basically means they have so much time to repair whatever issues there are with city code. And if they don't repair it within a certain amount of time, then the city will demo the property and put a lien on the property for the cost of the demo. In this particular case, the city did cite the property. The owner did not make the repairs, so the building department is prepared to move forward with demolition of the property. However, as you can see, the estimate for this demolition is high. So this is where 2 departments are collaborating, and we are going to use funds from our CDBG demolition account, or HUD dollars, to help with this process. Well, anytime you use HUD funds for demolition, you have to then go through an environmental review process, among other regulations that come into play with federal dollars. So with that, did you have something you wanted to say, Mr. Blosky?
Well, yes.
Okay.
This building's located on the northeast corner of Sibley and Holman. The environmental review for HUD purposes is not just an environmental site assessment, meaning asbestos and lead and tanks and stuff. It's a whole gamut of issues, from location and population and historical review. They call it an environmental review, but it's like a complete review of the building, even things that don't have to do with the environment per se. So that's what, it's not just a standard phase 1 or phase 2.
I think we all know what the Penny's building is, you know, in the words here, just to get the addresses right. It should be 5137?
That is correct.
So we're talking that in addition to that, the building to the north may come down?
That is correct.
Yeah, I can explain that. So when we had somebody go out and give an estimate for the demolition of this property, they realized that the property to the north basically has adjacent walls. And therefore, for the demolition, it could be very tricky. The bricks would have to be taken down brick by brick, and in our early cost estimates, could actually add about $50,000 to the demolition cost because of how close the walls are, and we don't want to damage the building to the north. Well, it just so happens the building to the north is owned by Raimundo Garcia, who also is in the city of Hammond, and we've explained the situation to him and how it would potentially cost us $50,000 more, somewhere in that range, let's say. And so what we think is going to happen is he's going to give the city a letter that gives us permission to demolish his structure as well. If that's the case, it would actually cost us less in the long run because his is such a small structure and it'll come down so easily, and then we won't have to take ours down brick by brick on the north wall. So we do not have that letter in our possession yet. So if we don't have that letter in our possession by the time that we are ready or prepared for demolition, we won't demolish his structure. We'll still move forward with our demolition project like we normally would. But if he does give us that letter and gives us permission, then we will probably take advantage of it because it'll actually save City of Hammond money in the long run.
What's our timeline for the demolition?
Well, because this is such an extensive project, I mean, you could see the cost could potentially be high. And we won't have a total cost until we bid it out. So I want to make that clear. These are estimates. The environmental review process on its own is going to take 30 days. And so then we're also, part of this estimate is also so that Zach and John can put the specs together for this project, because it's actually the building department that is bidding out the project because it's through their order to repair program. So that's part of what they're estimating here as well. I'm going to guesstimate that the actual demolition won't start for at least 60 days or somewhere in that range. And if John or Zach want to, give probably more. Okay, so at least 60 is fair. I was actually right on, Zach. I mean, at least 60. But we could be closer to 90.
It is a very difficult demolition. There's 0 lot lines right on the alley, right on the sidewalk. Sidewalk has fiber optic. In the alley, there's utility lines mounted to this building, so a whole lot of issues to deal with. It's not just a Queen Anne candy or something out in the middle of a field, so.
So is this property beyond being able to be renovated?
Yes, as I was told that because it had standing water in the building for several years, that the building is destroyed.
Yeah, say no more, standing water.
Is Mr. Garcia's building also beyond there?
That I've never been in his building before, so I don't know the answer to that. It'd really be up to him if he, what he wanted to do with the property. Typically, go ahead.
Would that then be the whole block? I drive down Holman every day. There's one more building there, isn't there?
More building to the north.
There is one more building to the north.
One more building to the north.
And there's a vacant
that's
lot
when we're
in
knocking down.
between that's fenced in.
Okay.
Between the, I guess it's a carb repair or some auto repair, and then
Tires or something.
the building to the north, which is that a daycare?
I think there's a greater ministry services or something along those lines in there, yeah. So that building will remain.
Nice. Yeah, it has a mural on the side. Looks nice.
So after our demolition, and we'll still talk about the specific specs for this project, but I would assume that at the end, we'll try and asphalt it or do something along those lines so it can at least be used as public parking for folks that want to come to downtown Hammond until a better use is determined in the future.
Anybody more questions?
Need a motion.
Mr. President, with the amendment of the address to 5137 regarding the former J.C. Penney building, I move we approve. What would this be? The environmental review and project design.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the environmental review project design for 5137 Holman Avenue, which is the J.C. Penney building. Can we have a roll call on that?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes, 5 yes. Thank you, Mr. Bosky.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Get started right away.
Okay, moving along, number 10, reports. Mr. Phil Talon, would you like to share anything tonight?
Sure. Commissioners, this is just set today, but on August 10th, which I believe is Monday at 2 o'clock, we will have the official groundbreaking for Byway Brewery, which is located at Oxbow Landing. I don't have the exact address in front of me, but it is the lot directly across the street from Hampton Inn. So this Monday coming up at 2 o'clock, if you're able to attend, we'd really appreciate it. We're excited about this project. I believe they already have started moving dirt and they're doing some things already, but this is the soonest we can actually get the groundbreaking for the project, so we want to do something official for that. We also just recently put out an RFP for property we call 137th and Victoria, which is property that the city has owned, or actually city did own it, and then they transferred it to redevelopment. And that RFP went in the newspaper, I believe, yesterday. So we hopefully, by our next meeting, we'll receive some bids or some submissions for that property. We'll see how that goes. Next week, we're hoping to get the RFP out for the 2 remaining parcels at Oxbow Landing. I believe we have a 4.4 acre lot and we have a 2.6 acre lot remaining. So we want to advertise those lots and see what interest is out there for those 2 remaining lots. Obviously, this development has really taken off and the value of the property has gone up, and we're very excited about the direction it's going. And now we want to see who else, after they've seen the development that's already occurred, is ready to step up and also want to locate at this site. So we're looking at that as well. One thing that popped in my head, and I want to make sure we mention this, for the J.C. Penney project, this is for the project design, this is for the environmental review and the specs. At some point, we'll also have to look at some sort of project management. Because it is an extensive project, when the demolition occurs, there's going to have to be somebody out there overseeing the demolition every day. But that would be in the future, so that's not today. Right now, we just need to get the specs together and put the bid together and hopefully get some good bids on that project.
I nominate Commissioner Soto. She has a hard hat and she's off for the summer.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, but this will be 90 days. So can you if you end up retiring, let me know and we'll get you out there.
I'm retiring. Okay.
That's it. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, I just want to know what's the status of the deal at 1731 Lake Street? Is it moving, progressing well?
It is. I just signed a document on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission. As you know, we agreed on a price. So right now we're in what I'll call the paperwork stage. And I just signed something today and forwarded it to Nancy that she was waiting for. I don't think we have a closing date set yet, but I would hope that we'd have a closing date set within the next couple weeks. One of the delays that we had is that we had to have the water turned on. Typically, the owner of the property will turn the water on as they purchase it. Because the appraiser needed to see the water turned on, we had to have it recently turned on. As I understand it, now that the appraiser has gone in, or home inspector maybe is a better, I think it's a home inspector, we're actually going to turn the water back off again until there's somebody else. So, but everything's progressing.
All right, very good. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Okay. Conclude the reports, so we will move on to number 11, our bills.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for July 7th, 2015 through July 30th, 2015. Register of Claims R5 2173 to R52299.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the Register of Claims July 7th, 2015 through July 30th, 2015 for tonight's redevelopment commission meeting, which is August 4th, 2015. Is there any questions or discussion on these bills? Okay, then roll call on the Register of Claims.
Yes.
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 Yes. Bills pass, 5 yes. Okay, number 12, new and unfinished business.
Mr. President, you have 2 items of new and unfinished business in front of you. The first one is just entitled Resolution, and if you look at it, you have to do a resolution every year that allows me or a member of my firm to sign closing documents, real estate purchase agreements, and related documents, so I can go to the closing for you. Well, last January, you did the one you do every year, but now that the name of my firm has changed, one of the title companies has asked that we update the resolution. So all this does is update the name of the firm. It's the exact same one you had approved in January, but now it's the correct firm name.
Okay. Can you, for the record, say your firm's name?
Oh, Westland and Bennett?
Okay, thank you.
PC. Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the resolution with the name change of Westland and Bennett PC.
I second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call on that?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes, 5 yes. Thank you, Attorney Westland.
Thank you. The second item is a resolution that's entitled, "A Resolution of the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission irrevocably pledging tax increment from the Gateway Allocation Area to the payment of the City of Hammond, Indiana Taxable Economic Development Revenue Bond Series 2015 for the Gateways Area Project." This document is also a kind of a redo of a document you approved probably 2 months ago. This resolution authorizes the pledging of TIF revenue in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $1.7 million. This is related to the Gastovich ATG office building, which I'm happy to report that that bond is set to close, if not tomorrow, later this week. So we would be able to fulfill our obligations under the development agreement, and my understanding is that the developer is moving forward already at the site. But the reason this is necessary is that in the one you passed a couple of months ago, there was a typographical error in that it said that the aggregate amount of the bonds was not to exceed $1.6 million. While technically 1.6 million was the amount for for the developer, it didn't include issuance costs, so we've tweaked this to say 1.7 million to include, which is what every other document you approved said, and for whatever reason, this particular one did not get that change reflected. So we're asking that you approve this tonight so that Phil can send it over to our bond counsel, and they can have their closing tomorrow or Thursday. But the only change in this document is the 1.6 to the $1.7 million.
So then you need a motion from one of us
To approve this, yes.
to approve it. Commissioners, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission irrevocably pledging tax increment from the Gateways allocation area to the payment of the City of Hammond, Indiana Taxable Income Development Revenue Bond Series 215 Gateway Area Project from 1.6 to 1.7 with the correction.
That's fine.
Second.
Okay, is there any further questions for Attorney Westland? All right, then we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call on that.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes 5 yes. Okay. If there's not any more new and unfinished business, then we will move to number 13, public comment. If anyone would like to come forward, you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, public comment closed. Number 14.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, meeting adjourned.